For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Knight. Before the Empire.
For my ally is Force, and a powerful ally it is.
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, penetrates us, binds the galaxy together.
What god am I? The last of the Jedi will you be?
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
I'll never turn to the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Just for once, let me look on you with my own eyes.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Welcome to Rogue One, a Star Wars podcast for winners, episode 212. I'm your host, Johnny, and it is a Gross Solo, and I am very sorry for our YouTube watchers. It's still going to be on YouTube. Well, you are on YouTube watching it, and you're just going to have a bunch of visuals. So here is a visual of me. Ta-da! I don't know if Bill Beck actually put a picture of me, because now Bill Beck, the producer of Rogue One, who has been doing the YouTube show, played a little joke on the host, and I said put an embarrassing picture of Michael up, and Bill Beck puts an embarrassing picture of me up, which is fine, but now, I don't know, I'm flying blind. I'll request pictures from Bill during this episode, but I don't know. He's a loose cannon. He's Bill Beck, producer of Rogue One. So Michael couldn't make it tonight, so it is just I. It'll be a very quick show for two reasons. Number one, it's a solo show. There's only so much I can possibly talk to myself about. And number two, because we're really trying to cater to the visual, the episodes will be shorter, so you get more bang for your buck on the YouTube ones. So let's start with that. Rogue One is now on YouTube. So go to YouTube and search Rogue One Pod, and it'll pop up. This will be the third episode. Bill Beck does an amazing job. It's basically the podcast with visuals. Very cool. Please send in video questions. We have one, but I can't play it because we're not doing, it's a solo. So the video question that we have will be done next week when we are back to normal, okay? And it'll be awesome. So send in more. Please, record yourself on your phone or something and ask a question. Keep it around a minute or under. And email it to rogue1pod@gmail.com. And that's one with a W. You can obviously check us out on Twitter and Instagram, Rogue One Pod. That's one with a W. I'm Rogue One Johnny. That's one with a W.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
In the not-so-distant future on a planet called Earth, it's Underoos.
Star Wars Boba Fett is here. That means Darth Vader's always near. C-3PO is lots of style. And R2-D2 just makes me smile. Star Wars Underoos are here, yeah! Something out of sight in underwear.
Oh, don't be so ridiculous, R2. Underoos are for Earthlings.
So let's get right to it. first and foremost, someone asked like a really good question about collecting. And those of you that know me know that I collect vintage Star Wars. I recently made a huge run at my last figure, the vinyl Cape Jawa. I have about $1,300 saved up, and I could get one for $1,300, but it won't be graded. So someone had a graded one for sale, so I took a shot at it, and I didn't get it. But I'm close, and it'll happen soon. So on Twitter, someone asked me, or asked in general, a very good question. What's the best vintage Star Wars action figure? Okay. Now, those of you who listen to the show know that Chewbacca is like my favorite Star Wars character. I named my dog Chewbacca. And I army build, which means like you buy a lot of them, of vintage Kenner Chewbaccas. And not just vintage Kenner Chewbaccas, but I collect anything and everything Chewbacca. For example, Hawsy Haws, if you remember from the last Christmas episode, got me this amazing Chewbacca statue. And 2 years ago, he got me like this 1978 Chewbacca porcelain bank, which is gorgeous. So like anything and everything Chewbacca, I collect. And again, I am sorry if this is repetitive, but the reason why like I love Chewbacca and it means more to me now is because the last two dogs that I had, Chewbacca and Leia, guess where I got those names from? Chewbacca and Leia, I had to basically like carry them around in their last days. So that moment in Empire Strikes Back when Chewbacca carries around 3PO means a lot to me, hits me on a lot of different emotional levels. So the natural progression of things, C-3PO is now, because I got a lot of Chewbacca stuff, so now I'm expanding to 3PO. Besides the fact that, say what you want about The Rise of Skywalker, if you didn't like it, fine, but you cannot tell me that's not the best 3PO movie. For real. Like, 3PO stole the show. So now I'm army building and collecting C-3PO. Bring it back around. When someone asked me what was the best figure ever made, I was about to say Chewbacca, and you guys would think Chewbacca, but to be honest with you, C-3PO is a stunning figure. It's got great detail, and that gold paint is just so impressive. And maybe it wasn't a big deal in 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, right? Maybe it wasn't a big deal then. But now they don't use that metallic paint because it's too expensive. So when you see it, it's got that rare vintage, like, ooh, they don't make that anymore. I mean, sure, if you get a Hot Toys, it'll be like legit gold probably, right? But, the average figures, even the Black Series, like, that's, like, disgusting. It's not shiny. I need shiny 3PO. I needed a shiny Phasma. Didn't get it. Shiny 3PO is the best vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure. Then, like, I like the Troopers. I like the Snow Trooper a lot. I think that's going to be my next one, the Snow Trooper. One of my holy grails is a Gentle Giant made like 12-inch replicas of the 3 3/4-inch vintage Star Wars figures. And they're gorgeous. The packaging is huge, over the top. The figures are gorgeous. I paid over $100 for the Chewbacca. And Hawsy Haws got me the 12-inch Princess Leia, which I love. And he did that specifically because it was after I lost Leia. And now my two vintage Jumbo Kenner figures, which are rare and expensive, are of my two dogs, Chewbacca and Leia, that are no longer with us. Very sad. Bill put up a couple pictures of Chewbacca and Leia, if you haven't already, because you're on top of things. I know. Maybe it's not a solo, because I'm technically talking to Bill Beck, and he is responding. So here, watch this. Let's try it out. Bill Beck, how are you, sir?
Huh? Oh. Leave me alone. I'm busy.
See? There you go. All right. So, my next, after I get the Vinyl Cape Jawa, I need to get that 12-inch 3PO. Because you know what? It's shiny. It's that metallic paint. But it's just ridiculous on eBay. $300? Like, come on, man. I'm not paying $300 for that. Once the world opens back up, and they have toy shows, like maybe I can go to a toy show. They'll probably ask $300 and I can negotiate them to $200. we'll see what happens, but it's on my bucket list soon after the Vinyl Cape Jawa. It's like this Vinyl Cape Jawa is like holding me back. It's like my white whale, and like I can't do anything. Like I still shop eBay, I shop Facebook Marketplace, I'm in groups, I'll throw out bids here and there for small stuff. But I'm like, man, if I didn't have that Vinyl Cape Jawa hanging over my head, I would have been done with this journey. But it is a fun journey. And then Chris Fresh thinks he's being my friend, sends me this awesome podcast about He-Man, and I was like, dude, you are hurting the Vinyl Cape Jawa hunt because you've turned me on to this great podcast, and yes, I started listening to it, about He-Man and action figures, and like now I want to go back and buy them. But I can't. My self-discipline is in high effect. I'm trying to focus. Vinyl Cape Jawa. Literally yelling at myself, don't buy He-Man. Don't buy your 3POs. Don't buy more Chewbacca's. Get the Vinyl Cape Jawa. Keep saving up. But like COVID-19, besides ruining the world, and I'm not joking about it because people have lost their lives, and I'm very, I empathize with that, and it's a very serious thing, and people are out of work because of it. But it's like it's slowing down like everything. Matter of fact, I'm just going to change direction because like I'm not even going to make light of it because I see on Twitter, I see on TV, there's a lot of COVID-19 jokes, and it doesn't sit well with me. And like, look, if you've made COVID-19 jokes, like I'm not coming at you, like do you? But like, I don't know, every time like I think about making light of the situation, I'm just like, no, man, people have died. Like, and that's not cool. That's not funny. So like maybe like let's take Rogue One to a serious tip for a second. Like, try not to joke about it. Because someone listening to you or reading your tweet or whatever, like, might have lost someone close to them, and it might not go over well. All right? That's just a little tip. Just a little tip. Really only this will be a quick show tonight. We're going to go about a half hour. Really one big piece of Star Wars news this week, and that is a Disney Plus series has been announced. We have no idea what it's about, but we do know who's going to be writing, producing it, and her name is Leslie Headland. Now, apparently Leslie Headland is awesome, and she did this show called Russian Doll. I've never seen it. It's on my list now, though. Welcome to my radar, Leslie Headland. But the reaction on Twitter has been overly positive. Like, Russian Doll. Wait, did I say that right? Yeah. Russian Doll is a great show, which I'm going to watch. And apparently she's really talented and great. So like I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a female-centric series that takes place in a different part of the Star Wars timeline. Okay? So it's going to be kind of like a one-off or a Star Wars story. So that's good because I am one of the people that like have been saying like you need to get away from the original trilogy characters. Let Star Wars stand on its own. Let it be by itself. Let it breathe. We've discussed on this podcast maybe as much as having the original trilogy characters in the sequel trilogy, Han, Luke, Leia, made it great, and it was great. It was great seeing them again, and I loved it. But, maybe it hurt it too. Because you didn't get what, some people didn't get what they wanted. If you went into that sequel trilogy thinking you were going to watch the new adventures of Han, Luke, and Leia, you were disappointed, right? And rightfully so. If that's what you wanted, you didn't get it. You got the adventures of Rey, Finn. I said Finn. I'm an idiot. Rey, Finn, and Poe. Now, if you're just a Star Wars fan, like me, you got a good Star Wars trilogy. Sure, like each film has its little flaws, but at the end of the day, Star Wars is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. And if Steele is listening, he knows damn well I ripped that off of Seinfeld. Except he didn't say Star Wars was like pizza, he said something else was like pizza. But we're keeping it PG-13, so I won't say it. By the way, Seinfeld is an amazing show. It's still like, it's still good. Seinfeld is good. So I'm looking forward to a female-centric show. I have a theory. With this buzz about Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka, if that's true, maybe she's introduced in The Mandalorian, right? But then she gets her own series on Disney Plus. That would be really cool. Now I know what you're thinking. You just said that it's not in the same timeline as other Star Wars stories. No, it's not in the same timeline. But don't forget, Dave Filoni, to reintroduce his favorite character in Rebels, created time travel. So now anything is possible, okay? Anything is possible. But, and you know how I feel about the Ahsoka character. I love early Ahsoka. I'm not crazy about later Ahsoka. But it's still Star Wars, and Star Wars is still good. So I'm looking forward to a Ahsoka. Well, I mean, I would like it to be an Ahsoka series. That would be really cool. You can bring in Ezra, right? That would be cool. You know, an adult Ezra. And I started thinking about it, and Ezra, just like anything else, like he had like a lot of cool things going for him. Like that first season of Rebels was really good. I just don't think it ended as well as it could have. But you can have Ezra, you can have Ahsoka, you can have Ahsoka trying to find Ezra because homeboy, you can have Thrawn. You can have live action Thrawn. So how about this? Disney Plus series starring Ahsoka, and the whole mission of the series is to find Ezra, and when she does, he is also with Thrawn, right? So that would be a cool way to introduce Thrawn in live action. That would work. I would go with that. Let us know what you think. Video message me, my friends. That would be cool. What do you think about an Ahsoka series? Well, first and foremost, have you seen Russian Doll? Is it good? Let me know. What kind of writing and humor, or I'm assuming it's funny. Maybe it's a drama. I don't even know. You know, what kind of writing and what kind of show can I expect? You tell me. Tell me over video, over 1 minute. Are you looking forward to a female-centric series? Would you like it to be a Sabine Wren series? Maybe you can also introduce Sabine Wren with Ahsoka. I would like to see a Rosario Dawson series. That would be really cool. But I'm looking forward to it. There has been some casting news with the Cassian Andor series with Disney Plus. I forget her name, and I'm too lazy to Google it. But maybe Bill Beck can pop up her picture and her name. Mon Mothma is coming back, right? The actress who was in Rogue One, and she was in the deleted scenes for Revenge of the Sith, I believe. That actress who looks like the spitting image of the original Mon Mothma, she's going to be in the Cassian Andor series. Well, she's back reprising her role as Mon Mothma, so that would be cool. I've been pretty vocal about not really looking forward to the Cassian Andor series, and, you know, I'm open-minded. I'm going to watch it, right? It might be cool, but again, with the Rogue One movie and the Cassian Andor series, I'm more interested in the supporting characters than the lead character. Like Cassian Andor never really did it for me, but the side character like K2SO, amazing, right? A lot of the side characters were great, so I'm looking forward to it in that sense, and plus like little Easter eggs that they could include. So let me know what you think. Write in, let me know. I wish there was someone here I can talk to this about. I actually gave it a good effort. I contacted a few people, but you know, it was last minute. Things come up. So Mike couldn't be here. All right, so let's move on to the next segment. All right, so a couple of people asked me some really good questions recently. I've been getting a lot of good questions in Twitter DMs and the Rogue One Army. Someone said a lot of nice things about the podcast, which I appreciate. And they said, like, if you didn't do a Star Wars podcast, would you still be in podcasting? And I was like, that's very interesting. I never thought about podcasting until I listened to other podcasts and saw the fun that people were having, and I was like, I like to have fun. I guess like the what they were kind of getting at was like, if you didn't do a Star Wars podcast, what podcast would you do? And like, that's a really good question. So the question, I would probably do it's like, what's my second love, right? Like when I was a child, my second love was Transformers. But that's because they were cool toys. So it was like Star Wars, then Transformers. Okay? I don't know enough to do a Transformers podcast. So I don't think I would do a Transformers podcast. But that's technically my second love as a child. Oh, not to mention, once I finally buy this vinyl Cape Jawa, I'm getting some Masterpiece Transformers, baby. Ultra Magnus, yeah. All right, so it wouldn't be a Transformers podcast, even though that was my second love. It would probably be Marvel in general, because number one, like, I've seen all the Marvel movies. A lot. Number two, it's going to be ongoing. Like, forever and ever and ever they're making these movies. You know, much like Star Wars now. So you've got content for years. So that's good. Number three, I am no expert. Like, I'm no less from the Sith list. Cha-ching. I'm no Adam Stafford, who actually works at Marvel, which is still crazy to say, right, guys? So proud of Adam. But, like, I've read some of the comics growing up. I know most of it. So I guess that would be it. I mean, there's always, like, if you're into sports, like, I can do a New York Football Giant podcast. I can do a New York Yankee baseball podcast. I can do either one of those easily. But I don't know if I'd have much carryover with the audience. Like, I know if I said, like, hey, everybody, from Rogue One, I'm going to do a Marvel podcast, and I'm going to have, like, experts like Adam Stafford on who actually work at Marvel. Like, a lot of you guys dig Marvel. You dig Star Wars, you dig Marvel. It would be a little of both, right? But I don't know if too many people listening, besides, like, James Yarko, Bill Hudson, a couple other people, like Fernando, obviously, would follow me to a New York Giant or New York Yankee podcast. But, you know, we'll see. All right, that was a good question. Let's go to the next question. Do you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and which one would you be? Wow. Okay. I know most people are like Michelangelo, but, like, that's really not my personality in real life. Like, in real life, and I don't mean this in a bad way, like, I like to lead. I don't want to say the words I like to be in charge. I like to inspire and motivate. Okay? I like to inspire and motivate. I think that's Donatello. Yeah. Donatello was kind of like the leader. I need Chris Fresh. Chris, come on Rogue One soon, please, so we can do a turtle segment. I think I'm Donatello. Or maybe I'm Leonardo. Which one's the leader? Is it Donatello or Leonardo? I'm one of those two. Turtle power. All right. Next. These questions are awesome. I like, as much as, like, this is a Star Wars podcast, I like non-Star Wars questions. Like, I like that. But here's a Star Wars question. Okay, you said several times you're not a big fan of Rogue One. If you had to pick one, this is easy. If you had to pick one character from Rogue One that you liked and would like to see a Star Wars story based on just that character, who would it be? K2SO. Now, I know if I choose K2SO, it's obviously going to have Cassian Andor in it. But, like, K2SO, like, transcended robots in Star Wars. Like, it had the biggest personality ever. Like, you know, R2's R2, BB-8's BB-8. Like, I hate to say this, but, like, they don't really count. Like, they can't talk. We can't get as much from them as we can as from, like, a K2 or a 3PO. So 3PO's 3PO. Like, he does what he does. He's been pretty consistent. Although, man, The Rise of the Skywalker is the best 3PO movie. At me. Or let's do this. Someone send in a video and rank your top 3PO movies. Because he was in all of them. So which one was your favorite 3PO movie or his best performance, etc., etc. All the way down to the last one, whichever you feel it is. Okay? So it would be K2SO. And yeah, I would have to bring Cassian around for that as well. But K2SO is, like, that legit. Okay. Non-Star Wars question. I love it. Nope. Never mind. It is a Star Wars question. You and Mike were talking about Entourage. Great show. And Mike said you would probably be Vince. Makes sense. Thank you. Who do you see yourself as in Star Wars? That is a tough question. Who, the real me, my podcast persona, and by podcast persona, I mean, like, I'm really not this, like, outgoing in real life. I swear to God, I'm not really outgoing in real life. Those of you who met me Star Wars Celebration or New York Comic Con, like, I'm a pretty quiet, reserved dude. Unless, like, it's a performance. A podcast is a performance. Steel show, performance. Real life, I'm pretty chill and quiet, you know? So podcast persona, let's go with Han Solo. I know I'm going to get beat up for this. Podcast persona, let's just go with Han Solo. But real life me? Real life me. Podcast me, Han Solo. Real life me. Wow. I'm instantly going to, like, original trilogy, right? God, I don't know. I'd like to be Obi-Wan, but I don't know if I am Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? It's like, who do you want to be? Like, who do you see yourself as? And how other people see you is two different things. Like, I think we can all agree, for the most part, like, the podcast me is Han Solo, or me trying to be Han Solo, right? Like, I get it. Make fun of me. I deserve it, right? In real life me? I don't know. Maybe, like, Lando Calrissian, dude. No. Never mind. I take that back. I am not, like, nope. Not as cool as Lando. Because I'm too reserved. I'm too quiet. Lando's not quiet. I don't know. Maybe Chewbacca. I'm going to go with Chewbacca. You know? I'm going to go with Chewbacca. You know what? Here's a reason I'm going to go with Chewbacca. I am not what I look like. I am not what I seem. For example, Chewbacca, you're 250 years old? No, you're whatever the line is from Solo. You're 200 years old? No, you look great. People wouldn't think Chewbacca can, like, fly the Millennium Falcon and be a great mechanic, space mechanic. You know, so I do things in my normal life that people, if you guys knew, would be like, really? And I'd be like, yeah, I can do that. Or I do that. Or I've done that. And I mean, like, good things, not bad things. Good things. Good things. Good things. So I'll go with Chewbacca. Next question. This is going to be a fun one. If you could marry one female character in Star Wars, who would it be? This can also include expanded universe. So the fact that this person asked me about or included expanded universe, so that's like all I can think of is like Mara Jade, right? I don't know Mara Jade, so I'm not gonna. Besides, I'm not dumb enough to mess with Luke's girl. You know what I mean? Lose a hand that way. You can lose a hand that way. So I guess, you know, like, so what? Like, you're looking at, like, Rey, Leia, Padme. Don't even think I would go near the Rogue One woman. Can't stand her. Who else? Ooh. Cara Dune. Done. Easy. Cara Dune. By far the coolest woman in Star Wars right now. Now I get it. Hats off to Princess Leia. There will only be one Carrie Fisher let's leave the actresses out of it. There will only be one General / Princess Leia. I get it. She's an icon, right? I get it. But, like, right now, dude, Cara Dune, man. Cara freaking Dune. And I'd like to see her in Mandalorian Season 3 as well, as Baby Yoda. But I can see the show exist without her, right? But the show can't exist without Baby Yoda. But Cara Dune, yeah, good question. Cara Dune. Cara Dune. Wow, I'm going through these questions, and now I realize why I never answered them on the show. Kind of a generic Star Wars question, but I'll answer it. If you could have one lightsaber, whose would it be? So I guess they mean hilt and color combined. Can I mix hilt and colors? I'm going to go green. I hate purple. I hate the fact that purple exists. I was always a traditionalist. I always liked red for the bad guys, blue and green for the good guys. Mace Windu brought in purple, and then that broke the barrier, and now Rey has gold, yellow, I don't know. And then forget about like the Clone Wars and, you know, Rebels, and there's all different colors everywhere now. But I'm going to go green. What hilt? It's between... I'm going to go... It's between Episode 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi, meaning it's shiny. Episode 4, Obi-Wan Kenobi, things like been through hell. I'm going to go Episode 3, shiny Obi-Wan Kenobi, or the original, the OG, the Skywalker Legacy Saber. But from Episode 4, where it has like the little circles, the bubbles, near the center of the lightsaber. I know there's a word for it. I don't know it. Sue me. It goes bubble, 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 bubble. That was only in episode 4. After that, it turned into like a gold plate that looks like a circuit breaker. Or a circuit, I should say. So it's between those two. But definitely green, which is ironic because both of those are blue. But the hilt versus the color. And then if you made me marry the two, I would go Luke Skywalker, episode 6. Green lightsaber, because it's very similar to Obi-Wan Kenobi's, and it's green. Okay, not really like Rogue One material, but I appreciate the question. It was a good one. It's been sitting here. I'm going through like all my DMs, like that stuff, like that's the questions that the B questions, the questions that didn't make the show. That's why I'm not saying the names, probably because like these people have since like stopped listening because like I never read their questions. Sorry, I'm reading them now. It counts. It counts. Ooh, this is a good one. Johnny, you've mentioned you've been a huge Top Gun fan. Yes, I'm a huge Top Gun fan. Which Star Wars ship would you fly? Great fucking question. I'm going to have to chew on this. Most people will say the Millennium Falcon. Not me. Let's be honest. The Millennium Falcon is the coolest ship in the galaxy because of who flies it. Let's just look at it aesthetically. It's not an attractive ship. You came in that thing? You're braver than I thought. The trash will do, hunk of junk. It's not an attractive ship. Johnny Grasso needs to be in an attractive ship. Okay. I don't know the name of it, but Kylo Ren's last fighter, where the sharp, I think, in TIE Inceptor, whatever, whatever crazy name. And I hope Bill Beck has been throwing up pictures this whole time. Kylo Ren's ship with like the pointy wings, or a traditional X-Wing. I'm going to go X-Wing. It's between those two, but I'm going traditional X-Wing. Episode Red 5 standing by X-Wing. Get some. Great question. Recently I shared on Twitter, someone, not me, no one I know, put the X-Wings fighting in space and to the Danger Zone Top Gun music. It's great. It's great listen. Great watch. Great view. Check it out. All right, here's another one, Star Wars related. I got to try and find ones that aren't Star Wars related. I like those. But it's a Star Wars podcast for the most part, right? That and other geek stuff. All right, Johnny, you've mentioned your love of Chewbacca several times. Yes, I have. Do you think it's possible for Chewbacca to be in future Star Wars films? And if so, how, etc., etc.? Is it possible? Yeah. Will they do it? No. I don't think they're going to do it. I think as lovable as Chewbacca is, they're done with the original trilogy characters. I really strongly, firmly believe that. I think the next 2 Star Wars trilogies, movies, etc., Disney Plus shows will not have Wookiees. Or, excuse me, I take that back. They might have Wookiees, and I would like to see, like, you know how, like, gorillas are black, but then you have, like, the silverback gorillas? I would like to see, like, a silver, like, an older Wookiee, 500, 600 years old, etc., and, like, gray, like a gray Wookiee. I think that'd be really cool. I think they'll have Wookiees. I think Wookiees will always be a part of Star Wars. I don't think, as much as it pains me to say it, man, I think we're done with Chewbacca unless they make Solo 2 happen. And again, I think Solo would make a great Disney Plus series. And I think it's possible. And I hate to root against actors, but like if Alden Ehrenreich's career doesn't take off and he's not doing movies or good shows on Netflix, etc., then, he might go back to the Disney Plus thing. And we'll see what happens. But I'm rooting for it. But yeah, no, I think we've seen the last of Chewbacca. I think your only shot at Chewbacca is Han Solo or Solo 2. Pains me to say that. Hurts. Sorry, I'm looking through the questions and DMs and stuff. Dude, Top Gun 2 Maverick got pushed back. Have to wait longer for this awesome movie. Ooh, good question. And there's a chance that we might not have discussed this. Do you think the return of Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker undid the prophecy of the Chosen One, a.k.a. Anakin Skywalker, a.k.a. Darth Vader, in Return of the Jedi? That is highly debated. That's a great question. You're not going to like my answer. I believe it did undo it. I believe that bringing Palpatine back kind of makes you look at like Luke and Vader and their sacrifices they made in, you know, the original trilogy, like, well, that got me nowhere. Shit went wrong anyway. Shit's still going sideways, Sarge. Like, I mean, as a movie, it's fine. Nothing changes. You root, you cheer. Bad guy loses, good guy wins. You're fulfilled. You have a great time watching the movie. Nothing changes there. In the canon mythos of Star Wars, like, yeah, dude, like, it totally does. You can't say it doesn't. You failed, Your Highness. It's like, no, I come back, bitch. Like, you're an old man on an island. Like, I didn't fail. Like, I'll be back. Like, maybe I didn't even die. Like, come on, man. And, like, when you think about it, how long did, like, Pax Romana even last? People who know that historical reference, just pat yourselves on the back. But how long did the balance of the Force, that quote-unquote Darth Vader / Anakin returned the Force 2 balance, how long did it last, right? Not long. Because let's say the balance of the Force went all out of whack when, I don't know, Ben Solo burned down the temple. Or the new Jedi Academy, I should say. So what, you got 20 years out of it? If that? Like, come on, man. Because, think about it, the Emperor was Snoke the whole time. So now you gotta think, the Emperor is Snoke. So whenever Snoke popped up, the Emperor popped up. So like now you're even going back further. Remember that line in episode 7? Leia mentioned Snoke like she knew him. Right? Like, oh, that's Snoke or whatever. You know? And Han Solo, when Snoke's done with you, like, he'll throw you away or whatever. He wants you for your power and he'll throw you away. By the way, foreshadowing, because that's literally what happened, except it wasn't Snoke, it was the Emperor. But again, remember, the Snoke and the Emperor are now one and the same. Snoke, literally a puppet of the Emperor. So now, whenever Snoke was introduced, the Emperor was back already. Or he never left. And then if he never left, then yeah, like, the end of The Last Jedi wasn't a happy ending. Now again, I don't mean the movie. I mean balance was never brought to the Force. Because if the destruction of the Emperor brings balance to the Force, the Emperor was never destroyed, ergo, no balance. Returned. He just had to rebuild. Which he fucking did in a whole big-ass fleet that would just look stupid on screen. You know, sometimes too much is too much. You know what I mean? That part where all the rebel ships, like, drop into frame. Like, too much. The Emperor's fleet, too much. Like, if each ship has a gun that can destroy a planet with one shot, bitch, you only need, like, a dozen of those. Maybe a baker's dozen. Like, let's be real. Come on, man. Where do you get all the people to man these ships? Don't start me on that. But yeah, dude, to answer your question, like, I don't know. You got to think, like, bringing the Emperor back kind of threw all that off. And not just because of the Emperor, but because the Emperor is Snoke, right? Then the second Snoke returned, the Emperor technically returned. Let's chew on that till next week. All right, I'm going to wrap this up, about 45 minutes or so for the show. Send in the questions. I had a really good time reading through a lot of these, and I apologize I didn't get to them sooner, but we get a lot. So send video ones now to rogue1pod@gmail.com. Again, that's rogue1pod@gmail.com. Send it like a little video question. And we have one from Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. When we're back and running with more than just me on here and a better video content for YouTube, we'll play yours and hopefully a few others. All right, guys. So thank you very much for listening. Get your iTunes reviews in. Still got to get in touch with David about the prize going out, but it's going to go out soon. We hit 300. People will win. And that's awesome. Yeah, I already did the Twitter thing. Go to iTunes, do reviews, and keep up. And that's about it. Alright, guys. Till the next one.